Snow blankets the kingdom of Eldoria, each flake a tiny mirror reflecting the pale winter light. The castle of Eldoria rises, a stark silhouette against the unforgiving winter sky. Inside the castle, Queen Elara stands at a frost-kissed window, her gaze lost in the swirling snow. Her face, framed by the cold light, reflects a profound wistfulness, a queen lost in thought. Each falling snowflake seems to echo the silent sorrow etched on her face. The kingdom holds its breath, mirroring the queen's pensive mood as winter tightens its grip. In the queen's chambers, Elara sits by the fire, warmth illuminating ancient texts. Light flickers across the room, casting shadows that dance with the flames. Her fingers gently trace the curve of her stomach, a silent promise. A deep longing settles in her eyes, reflecting dreams and hopes. The fire crackles, filling the silent chamber with a comforting sound. Elara's gaze softens, lost in thought amidst the ancient texts. In the queen's chambers, Elara kneels, bathed in pale moonlight, shadows stretching across the cold stone floor. Her hands are clasped tight, a silent plea forming on her lips as she whispers into the dark, her voice barely audible. She speaks her heart's desire, a wish carried on the night air. "A child with skin as white as snow," she whispers, her longing echoing in the silent chamber. "Lips as red as winter berries, hair as black as ebony," Elara continues, her dream vivid in the moonlight. Sunlight paints the queen's chamber as Elara lies in bed, exhausted yet radiant, a beacon of life amidst the winter's chill. In her arms, she cradles a newborn, its features a striking contrast: skin as white as snow, lips as red as winter berries. The infant's hair, as dark as ebony, frames a face of serene innocence, a promise of beauty amidst the stark winter. They name her Snow White, echoes through the castle, a name whispered with reverence and hope for the future. The newborn sleeps peacefully, unaware of the destiny that awaits, a stark symbol of purity against the frosted windows. Within the queen's chambers, Elara cradles Snow White, her face a canvas of maternal love and growing despair. Snow White lies listless in Elara's arms, her breath shallow, each cough stealing more of her fading strength. A palpable sense of dread fills the room as life ebbs from Snow White, leaving Elara helpless against the encroaching darkness. Elara's tear-filled gaze reflects the unbearable weight of a mother's love facing the ultimate loss. In the queen's chambers, Elara lies still, her form barely visible in the dimly lit room. King Alaric clasps her hand, his strong features etched with worry. Flickering candlelight casts long, dancing shadows across the majestic walls. The silence is broken only by the king's shallow breaths. A magical curse hangs heavy, suffocating the air around the still queen. A year has passed. Alaric sits on his throne, his face a mask of worry in the grand throne room of Eldoria Castle. Around him, the court whispers in fearful tones, anxiety etched on every face. The unending winter grips the land, a chilling omen hanging heavy in the air. The queen's mysterious slumber deepens with each passing day, casting a pall over the kingdom. Sunlight floods Eldoria's throne room, illuminating dust motes and the expectant faces of the court. King Alaric stands tall, his regal presence commanding attention as he prepares to address his court. Whispers ripple through the courtiers in velvet and silk, a tapestry of hope and uncertainty. Alaric's voice echoes, "To secure the future of Eldoria, I have decided to remarry." A wave of murmurs sweeps the room, approval and apprehension swirling amongst the nobles. In the heart of winter, a regal carriage halts before Eldoria's imposing castle gates, its crest gleaming. Queen Isolde steps out, her beauty undeniable, like a winter rose amidst the snow. Her piercing eyes hold a chilling coldness, a stark contrast to her radiant appearance. A palpable aura of regal detachment surrounds her as she surveys her kingdom. Sunlight paints the throne room, dust motes swirling as Isolde enters, her smile radiant before the assembled court. Her eyes sweep across the faces, a silent assessment passing between her and the watchful nobles. Her gaze pauses, lingers, on Alaric, her expression an enigmatic mask, hiding thoughts and intentions. The air crackles with unspoken tension as Isolde's presence shifts the balance of power within the room. Her smile remains, a beacon of grace, yet her eyes betray a strategic mind at work. In her chambers, Isolde stands poised before a magic mirror, its surface alive with an ethereal shimmer. The mirror, a sorcerer's gift, pulses with otherworldly light, captivating Isolde's gaze. The room is silent, save for the soft hum emanating from the enchanted glass. Isolde's reflection wavers, hinting at the secrets and powers contained within the mirror. Magic fills the air, a tangible presence. As Isolde prepares to confront her destiny, sunlight floods a grand castle hall, illuminating dust motes dancing in golden rays. An ornate mirror hangs on the wall, reflecting the splendor of the castle. A mysterious voice echoes from the mirror, breaking the silence. "Who is the fairest in the land?" the mirror asks, its surface shimmering with an unseen power. In her chamber, Isolde's silhouette is framed by the ethereal glow of the moon, a solitary figure against ancient stone. Moonlight casts long shadows, revealing the nervous drumming of Isolde's fingers against the cold windowsill. Her anxious gaze darts towards the heavy oak door, a silent question hanging in the air. A delicate dance of hope and anxiety flickers across Isolde's face, emotions battling in the quiet chamber. The castle stands silent, save for the gentle whisper of wind against the ancient stone walls. Isolde remains poised, a statue carved from moonlight and worry, awaiting a destiny yet unknown. An ornate, antique mirror hangs silently, its aged surface subtly shimmering with untold stories. The mirror's surface swirls, reflecting not the room, but a hidden world of whispered secrets. A voice echoes from within the glass, ancient and ethereal, a presence felt more than heard. "You, my queen, are fair beyond compare," the mirror whispers, its words dripping with dark flattery. The reflection within distorts, a fleeting glimpse of a queen consumed by vanity and power. Darkness gathers at the edges of the mirror, a silent promise of beauty's inevitable decay. In the vibrant gardens of Eldoria Castle, spring breathes life into every corner, framing a scene of youthful innocence. Snow White, a vision of striking beauty even in her youth, finds joy amidst the blooming flowers and budding trees. Her laughter echoes softly, a pure melody carried on the gentle breeze as she dances through the sun-drenched gardens. Each playful step etches a moment of ephemeral beauty against the timeless backdrop of the ancient castle gardens. In the dim solitude of her chamber, Isolde stares into the depths of the mirror. The candlelight flickers, casting dancing shadows that emphasize the marble hardness of her face. Her eyes, like chips of ice, betray a resolve forged in the heart of Eldoria Castle. Each breath is measured, each thought a calculated step on a path yet unseen. A queen prepares, her reflection a silent witness to the storm gathering within. An ethereal mirror floats in the void, its surface shimmering with an otherworldly glow. The mirror's surface ripples, then hardens, transforming into a solid, reflective plane. It reflects no image, only pure, radiant light, casting an eerie glow on the empty space. A voice echoes from beyond the glass, cold and disembodied. "Snow White is 1,000 times fairer." The mirror hangs silently, its radiant surface a stark contrast to the encroaching darkness. The light intensifies, revealing hidden depths within the mirror's surface. In Isolde's chambers, shadows dance as her eyes narrow, reflecting a growing darkness. Envy coils within Isolde, slowly morphing into a dangerous, consuming obsession. The ornate walls of the Eldoria Castle seem to close in, mirroring Isolde's inner turmoil. Her gaze hardens, the soft light of the chamber failing to mask the malice forming within. A subtle shift in her posture betrays the dark path Isolde is beginning to tread. The air in Isolde's chambers grows heavy, charged with her burgeoning, sinister intent. Sunlight floods Isolde's chambers, motes of dust swirling in golden rays, illuminating a tapestry of war. Isolde stands, her face etched with gravity as she studies the ancient battle scenes. The soft creak of approaching armor heralds Caius's entrance. Caius bows deeply before Isolde, his leather armor a stark contrast to the opulent surroundings. A silent acknowledgement passes between them, heavy with unspoken words. Isolde stands, an aura of gravity surrounding her, her face set with determination. Her eyes gleam with purpose, reflecting a heavy burden. The room falls silent as she prepares to speak, the air thick with anticipation. "Caius, I have a task for you," she begins, her voice resonating with authority. Her gaze intensifies, hinting at the weight of her words. A delicate one, the unspoken request hangs in the air, promising a challenge that demands both skill and discretion. Sunlight floods Isolde's chamber, motes of dust swirling in golden light. Isolde, regal and cold, stands before Caius, her loyal huntsman. Her sharp gaze pierces the sunlit air, unwavering and commanding. "Take Snow White into the Blackwood Forest, Caius," Isolde commands, her voice echoing in the chamber. A beat of silence hangs heavy in the air, thick with unspoken intent. "Leave her there. See to it that she does not return," Isolde finishes, her words like ice. In the grand throne room, Caius stands firm, his voice echoing against the cold stone. Before the king, Caius' loyal heart clashes with his troubled mind. "But, Your Majesty, she's just a child," he argues, his words hanging heavy in the air. A plea for reason amidst looming decisions, challenging fate. A tense silence smothers the scene, the air thick with unspoken anticipation. The atmosphere crackles with unseen energy, a storm of emotion brewing. Every shadow seems to deepen, every breath held in suspense. Isolde's voice cuts through the silence, sharp and commanding. "Silence! Do as I command," she demands, her eyes flashing with intensity. "Or face the consequences," she warns. The threat hanging heavy in the air, Caius leads Snow White into Blackwood Forest, where shadows dance like specters in the dim light. Ancient trees loom, their branches gnarled and twisted like skeletal arms, reaching out to ensnare the unwary. Snow White's eyes widen with each step, her fear a palpable presence in the oppressive silence. Sunlight struggles to penetrate the dense canopy, creating an eerie, ethereal glow on the forest floor. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig, sends shivers down Snow White's spine. The forest seems to watch them, its ancient secrets hidden in the darkness. Weak moonlight dapples the forest floor, casting eerie shadows that dance around Snow White as she navigates the dense woods. Clutching Caius' hand, Snow White's eyes reflect a mixture of fear and trust. The scent of damp earth fills the air, mingled with the unknown fragrances of the deep forest. Her voice trembles slightly as she looks up at Caius, her concern echoing in the silent woods. "Where are we going, Caius? It's so dark here," Snow White asks, her voice barely a whisper against the backdrop of rustling leaves. The darkness seems to press in around them, a tangible presence accompanying their every step. Beneath the dense canopy of Blackwood Forest, Caius' steps falter, his face a canvas of inner conflict. His gaze is fixed on Snow White, a storm brewing within him as he struggles against his dark purpose. A tremor runs through his hand, betraying the turmoil that threatens to consume him. The weight of his mission presses down, turning his resolve into a fragile, wavering thing. In the heart of the forest, a silent battle rages within Caius, tearing him between duty and conscience. In an unknown place, Caius speaks urgently, his brow furrowed with deep worry, tension filling the air. He gestures emphatically, urging immediate action against an unseen, lurking danger. His voice is a desperate plea cutting through the tense atmosphere. "Run, Snow White. Run deep into the forest, where she can never find you," he cries. In Blackwood Forest, Snow White hesitates, the sunlight filtering through the dense canopy above. Driven by fear, she turns and plunges into the shadowy depths of the woods. Her silk dress, once pristine, is now torn and muddied from her desperate flight. Each breath echoes in the silence as she flees deeper into the heart of Blackwood. Beneath the shadowed canopy of Blackwood Forest, Caius begins his somber trek back to the castle. The ancient trees loom like silent witnesses, their gnarled branches weaving a tapestry of despair above him. Each step echoes with the weight of his guilt, a heavy rhythm against the forest floor. Sunlight struggles to pierce the dense foliage, mirroring the dim hope within Caius' heart. The air hangs heavy with unspoken regrets as he continues his solitary journey. In the distance, the castle awaits, a stark reminder of the choices that lie ahead for Caius. Sunlight floods Isolde's chambers, illuminating the dust and highlighting the tension between Isolde and Caius. Isolde stands resolute, her gaze piercing straight into Caius' soul. What secrets do they hold? Ornate tapestries line the cold stone walls, silent witnesses to the unspoken drama unfolding. The air crackles with unspoken words, the fate of Eldoria hanging heavy in the balance between them. In a dimly lit room, Isolde stands, a figure of poised anticipation, awaiting news that could alter her fate. The shadows deepen around her, enhancing the sense of mystery and foreboding that fills the air. Her voice cuts through the silence, a sharp, commanding inquiry. "Did you do as I commanded?" Her eyes reflect a steely determination, hinting at the power and control she wields in this unknown place. In the grand throne room, Caius kneels, his face a mask of grim determination and shadowed resolve. The weight of his actions presses down, a silent burden etched into every line of his face. His voice, heavy with the gravity of his report, fills the echoing chamber. "Yes, Your Majesty," Caius declares, the words resonating with finality and unspoken consequences. A beat of silence hangs in the air, thick with the implications of the deed is done. Snow White, small against the towering trees, stumbles into the dense, snow-laden Blackwood Forest. Thorns snag at her dress, each step sinking deeper into the unforgiving snow. Her breath mists in the frigid air, a fragile cloud against the endless white. Panic etches lines on her face as she glances around, desperately seeking a path. The forest silence is broken only by the crunch of her footsteps, each one amplifying her isolation. Tears freeze on her cheeks as she realizes she is utterly, hopelessly lost. In Blackwood Forest, the snow whispers secrets among the ancient trees, their branches heavy with winter's touch. Snow White halts, her breath misting in the crisp air, before a cottage veiled in snow. The quaint cottage is nestled among the trees, a beacon of warmth amidst the wintry expanse. Its small door and windows hint at the diminutive occupants within, their world a hidden haven. A curl of smoke rises from the chimney, promising comfort and mystery within the cozy dwelling. Snow White's eyes gleam with curiosity as she contemplates the secrets held within the tiny cottage. Snow White cautiously enters the dwarf's cottage, her silhouette framed against the doorway. Her eyes widen as she surveys the cozy interior, a sense of wonder and trepidation on her delicate features. 7 small beds are neatly arranged, their tiny size accentuating the strangeness of this place. Sunlight streams through a window, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the air, adding to the surreal atmosphere. She steps further into the room, her footsteps echoing softly in the silent, miniature dwelling. A close-up on Snow White's face shows a flicker of hope amidst the uncertainty, a silent question hanging in the air. Snow White tentatively enters the dwarf's cottage, her eyes wide as she takes in the cozy, unfamiliar space. A rough-hewn wooden table piled high with food beckons, an unexpected feast in the humble dwelling. Her delicate fingers reach out, cautiously testing a crust of bread, its aroma filling the air. Next, she samples a wedge of cheese, her expression thoughtful as she assesses its freshness. A sense of wonder and trepidation dances in her eyes as she explores the charming, miniature world. Inside the dwarf's cottage, sunlight streams through the window. Snow White, overcome with exhaustion, seeks refuge. She finds solace in the quaint, miniature bedroom. The smallest bed beckons, promising a haven of rest. Collapsing onto the soft mattress, she drifts into a deep slumber. As dusk descends, 7 dwarfs trudge wearily from the gem mines, their faces lined with toil. Their small figures are silhouetted against the fading light, each step heavy with the day's labor. Hands stained black, they carry the weight of the earth and the burden of their work. The setting sun casts long shadows, amplifying the sense of their isolation and fatigue. Each dwarf lost in thought, their journey home a silent testament to their hard lives. The gem mines stand silent behind them, a dark reminder of the treasures they seek. The dwarfs cautiously step into their cottage, their faces etched with concern under the soft glow of the hearth. A hushed silence falls as they peer into the dim interior, a sense of unease permeating the familiar space. Their eyes widen in surprise as they discover Snow White peacefully asleep in their beds. An unexpected sight. Whispers fill the air as the dwarfs huddle together, their voices a mix of wonder and apprehension. The scene is painted with a delicate balance of mystery and tenderness, the dwarfs' concern palpable. In an unknown place, dwarfs gather. Their expressions blend curiosity and distrust as they peer at something out of sight. Their eyes dart with a mix of wonder and hesitation, a silent question hanging in the air, fueling the mystery. Whispers ripple through the group, their faces a mix of awe and apprehension as they try to unravel the enigma. The dwarfs murmur among themselves, casting sidelong glances as if trying to solve an ancient riddle. "Who is this strange girl?" one dwarf asks, the question echoing through the chamber, demanding an answer. In the dwarf's cozy cottage, the fireplace casts a warm glow, illuminating the faces of the gathered dwarfs. A hush falls over the room as they gaze upon Snow White, her face serene in peaceful slumber. Each dwarf marvels at her ethereal beauty, their expressions a mixture of wonder and protectiveness. The small cottage is filled with a quiet awe, as if touched by magic. The fire crackles softly, casting dancing shadows that seem to guard her dreams. Flickering candlelight dances across the worried faces of the dwarfs, huddled together in their cozy cottage. Whispers fill the room, a hushed chorus of concern and curiosity swirling around the unexpected guest. Their eyes dart nervously towards the bed, where the mysterious figure now slumbers. A silent debate unfolds, each dwarf grappling with the question of what to do next. Snow White awakens abruptly in the dwarf's humble cottage, her eyes wide with a mix of confusion and fear. She gasps, taking in the unfamiliar surroundings of rough-hewn wooden walls and miniature furniture. 7 pairs of eyes peer down at her. The dwarf's face is a curious blend of concern and astonishment. Sunlight streams through a small window, casting long shadows that dance across the room. Dawn paints the dwarf's cottage as sunlight streams through the windows, revealing dust motes in a peaceful dance. Snow White sits at the wooden table, her hands clasped, her wide eyes reflecting lingering terror. She surveys the cozy room, finding solace in the familiar presence of the 7 dwarfs. Gathering courage, she prepares to recount her harrowing tale, her voice trembling. Sadness and fear intertwine in her gaze as she begins to unravel the threads of her story. Dawn breaks in the dwarfs' cottage, casting long shadows over their sympathetic faces as they huddle in hushed whispers. A silent decision ripples through the group, their eyes reflecting a shared determination. The dwarfs turn towards her, a silent offer hanging in the air, their resolve hardening. Moved by her story, the dwarfs offer her sanctuary. A voice narrates, sealing their pact. An unspoken agreement solidifies. In exchange for housekeeping, their newfound arrangement begins. Inside the dwarfs' cozy cottage, miniature furniture fills the rustic space with warmth and charm. 7 dwarfs encircle a young girl, their faces etched with concern and curiosity. A moment of cautious hope flickers in the air as the dwarfs extend their offer. "You can stay here, child," they say, their voices a chorus of reassurance. "Cook, clean, and mend our clothes, and we will protect you," the dwarfs promise, their eyes filled with determination. Dawn breaks, sunlight painting dust motes in the dwarfs' cozy cottage. The small windows cast a warm glow, revealing a haven untouched by the world. A silent warning hangs in the air, a lesson learned. Never open the door to strangers. The gentle light belies the danger lurking just beyond the threshold. In her chamber, Isolde stands, the cold light of the moon casting long shadows across the room. Before the mirror, Isolde's reflection stares back, a mask of barely suppressed fury. Her hands clench into fists, knuckles white, as she battles inner demons in the silent chamber. The air crackles with unspoken rage. Isolde trembles, caught between fury and despair. Dust motes swirl, illuminated by a solitary ray cutting through the castle's oppressive gloom. An ornate, antique mirror hangs silently on the wall, its surface alive with an unnatural light. The mirror shimmers, its secrets reflecting untold stories of ambition and desire. A disembodied voice echoes from the glass, chilling and ethereal. Snow White lives, sheltered by 7 dwarfs in the Blackwood forest. The mirror whispers. In the dim solitude of her chamber, Isolde sits, a solitary candle casting long, dancing shadows across the cold stone walls. Her face, bathed in flickering candlelight, is a mask of cold determination, her expression sharp and unyielding. Isolde meticulously plans, each movement precise, fueled by a burning desire for vengeance. Her eyes, reflecting the candle's flame, burn with a chilling malice, betraying the darkness within. The shadows seem to deepen, mirroring the treacherous path she has chosen. The air thick with unspoken threats. Each calculated step is a dance with fate. Isolde poised on the edge of a storm she is about to unleash. Beneath the dense canopy of Blackwood Forest, a figure cloaked and hooded moves with purpose. Isolde, disguised as a simple peddler, advances cautiously toward the dwarf's cottage. Shadows cling to her face, concealing her true intentions as she nears her destination. The air hangs heavy with the scent of damp earth and ancient trees, a silent witness to her approach. Each step is measured, each breath controlled, as Isolde prepares to unveil her deception. Isolde, weary, her face etched with determination, stands before the dwarf's cottage. Sunlight warms the quaint wooden door as she raises a hesitant hand. The sound of knocking echoes in the tranquil air. Her voice, raspy with exhaustion, prepares to call out, a plea for sanctuary on her lips. The market square buzzes with life, a symphony of bartering voices and vibrant colors under the bright day. Amidst the throng, Isolde, veiled as a humble peddler, navigates through the crowd. Her eyes scan the faces, a flicker of determination beneath the disguise. She approaches a child, her voice softening. "Good day, little one. I have ribbons and trinkets for sale." The child looks up, innocent eyes meeting Isolde's, a silent transaction about to unfold in the bustling square. Inside the dwarf's cottage, a silent invitation lingers, the warmth a stark contrast to the chilling forest. Snow White pauses at the threshold, her delicate features etched with a conflict of caution and yearning. A flicker of memory. The dwarf's stern warning echoes in her mind, a fragile shield against temptation, but curiosity, a relentless tide, begins to pull her forward, the allure of the unknown too strong to resist. With a hesitant step, she crosses the threshold, surrendering to the enchanting mystery within. Sunlight streams, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air as Snow White hesitates before the dwarf's cottage. With cautious steps, she pushes the wooden door inward, its hinges groaning in protest. The cottage is dark, a stark contrast to the bright forest outside, shadows clinging to every corner. An unsettling silence hangs in the air, amplifying Snow White's apprehension. Her eyes dart around, trying to pierce the gloom and discern the secrets hidden within. A single ray of light reveals a table set for 7, an eerie sign of unseen inhabitants. Sunlight dapples the quaint dwarf's cottage, a deceptive haven. Isolde extends a hand, her smile a mask concealing dark intent. A silk ribbon gleams, its threads shimmering with an unnatural allure. Snow White gazes at the ribbon, unaware of the lurking danger. The cottage garden, a silent witness to the unfolding deception. Magic weaves unseen, a deadly snare tightening around innocence. Inside the dwarf's cozy cottage, sunlight streams in, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air. Snow White, eyes wide with innocence, extends a slender hand. She accepts the proffered gift, her trust shining like a beacon. A moment of serene acceptance hangs in the air, heavy with unspoken fate. Outside the dwarf's cottage, Isolde's cruel intentions become clear as she circles Snow White, a sinister plan unfolding. With cold precision, Isolde tightens the ribbon around Snow White's waist, her face a mask of grim determination. Snow White gasps, her eyes wide with sudden fear as the ribbon constricts, stealing her breath and dimming her light. As Snow White loses consciousness, she slumps lifelessly, a tragic victim of Isolde's ruthless ambition. Inside the dwarf's cozy cottage, shadows dance on the walls as a sense of foreboding fills the air. Snow White, moments before full of life, suddenly collapses to the floor, her fall silent and heavy. Her vibrant dress fans out around her, a stark contrast to the stillness that now claims her. An apple, with one bite taken, rolls away from her outstretched hand, its red surface gleaming ominously. The room seems to hold its breath, the ticking of a clock, the only sound in the otherwise quiet cottage. Outside, the sun dips lower, casting long, mournful shadows that stretch into the cottage, enveloping Snow White. As dusk descends, the gem mine stands silhouetted against the fading light, a promise of rest hanging in the air. Weary from their labor, the dwarfs emerge from the depths, their silhouettes stark against the fiery sky. Each step is heavy, each dwarf bearing the weight of the day's toil, their faces etched with fatigue. The setting sun casts long shadows, mirroring the long day they've endured in the heart of the earth. They carry the gems they mined. The dwarfs burst into their cozy cottage, their boisterous laughter echoing through the small space. Their eyes widen, and a chilling silence descends as they behold the still form of Snow White. She lies motionless on the floor, a haunting stillness permeating the room. Horror slowly etches itself onto their weathered faces, a shared dread filling the air. The warm, inviting cottage now feels cold and menacing, the shadows deepening with each passing moment. Each dwarf stands frozen, a silent tableau of shock and disbelief in the face of the unknown. In the quiet of the dwarf's cottage, shadows dance around Snow White's still form, a haunting tableau of stillness. The 7 dwarfs huddle close, their faces etched with worry as they gather around Snow White. Doc, his brow furrowed in thought, extends a hesitant hand, a silent question hanging in the air. His fingers brush against something unseen, a constricting force hidden beneath her garments. A collective gasp ripples through the room as the dwarfs realize the unseen danger. The dwarfs exchange worried glances, the weight of the unknown pressing heavily on their hearts. Inside the dwarf's cottage, their small hands move with deft precision, manipulating the enchanted ribbon. With a final, decisive snip, the ribbon falls apart, its dark magic undone by the dwarfs' collective effort. A gasp sweeps through the room as the air crackles with fading magic, a tangible sense of hope returning. Snow White stirs, her eyes fluttering open to the dim light, a beacon of life rekindled in the small cottage. In the dwarf's cottage, Snow White gasps, her eyes fluttering open, her breath hitches, a silent struggle against the darkness she left behind. Weakness clings to her, her gaze sweeps across the unfamiliar cottage. Each breath she takes is a victory, filling her lungs with life once more. A flicker of fear remains, a shadow of the forest terror still haunting her. Warm light from the hearth bathes the dwarf's cottage, casting long shadows on the wooden walls. Snow White sits amidst the dwarfs, her pale face illuminated by the fire's glow. The dwarfs' small faces are etched with relief as they gather around Snow White. They pat her hands and shoulders, murmuring soft words of comfort in the cozy cottage. In her chambers, Isolde's rage takes hold, transforming her face into a chilling mask of malice. Her eyes narrow, reflecting the cold ambition that burns within the ancient castle walls. The shadows deepen around her, mirroring the darkness that consumes Isolde's heart. A storm of fury brews within, threatening to engulf everything in its path. Off-screen, a magical mirror shimmers, its ethereal light hinting at visions unseen. The mirror's surface ripples, reflecting a scene far away. A story unfolding. A voice echoes from the mirror, ancient and knowing, filling the silence. The mirror speaks. Snow White lives again, protected by the dwarf's care. The ethereal glow intensifies, shrouding the mirror in mystery, its secrets guarded. Flickering candlelight casts long shadows in Isolde's chamber, illuminating her solitary figure against the cold stone walls. Ornate tapestries twist in the dim light as Isolde stands, a silhouette of unwavering resolve. Her eyes, burning with a chilling determination, reflect the ambition that consumes her. The silence of the chamber amplifies the weight of her dark vow. I vow to destroy Snow White, no matter the cost, Isolde declares, her words echoing with chilling conviction. Beneath the dense canopy of Blackwood Forest, a figure emerges, cloaked and bent with age. Isolde, disguised as an old woman, shuffles forward, her face a roadmap of wrinkles etched by time and secrets. The air hangs heavy with anticipation as she nears the dwarf's cottage, each step measured and deliberate. Her voice, raspy and thin, cuts through the forest silence, a harbinger of the events about to unfold. Bathed in sunlight, the dwarf's cottage exudes rustic charm. Isolde approaches, her expression hidden, carrying an ornate comb. The comb gleams, its teeth subtly coated with a shimmering potion. A deceptive beauty masks a sinister intent. The air is still pregnant with unspoken malice. The cottage awaits, unaware of the impending enchantment. Sunlight bathes the quaint dwarf's cottage, nestled deep within the woods, promising warmth and refuge. Before the colorful wooden door, Isolde raises a hesitant hand, her knuckles pale against the aged wood. A moment of quiet anticipation hangs in the air as she gathers her courage, her expression a mix of hope and fear. Isolde knocks, the sound feeble and echoing softly in the tranquil forest, barely disturbing the peace. The cottage remains silent, its windows like dark eyes watching as the forest holds its breath. She waits, her posture suggesting both vulnerability and a desperate need for the shelter within. In a desolate place, Isolde, disguised as a wizened old woman, stands alone, her back bent with age and weariness. Her face, a roadmap of wrinkles, tells tales of hardship and an unyielding resolve etched deep within her. Her voice rasps with age as she pleads, "Please, kind child." A weary traveler seeks only a moment's rest. The old woman's gaze hides a burning intensity, her eyes betraying a purpose that belies her frail appearance. Snow White's hand trembles above the doorknob of the dwarf's cottage, her face etched with fear and burgeoning sympathy. A silent battle rages within her, compassion ultimately triumphing over trepidation. With newfound resolve, she pushes the cottage door open, stepping into the unknown. The door creaks as Snow White steels herself, ready to face what lies within. Snow White pushes open the cottage door, sunlight streaming into the cozy interior. She gestures warmly, inviting Isolde into the humble abode, a haven of safety. Isolde steps inside, her eyes wide with a mix of curiosity and trepidation. Snow White offers Isolde a seat, her gentle smile promising comfort and respite. A silent invitation hangs in the air, a moment of trust shared between two souls. Sunlight bathes the dwarf's cottage, a haven of peace nestled deep within the enchanted forest. Isolde gently takes Snow White's hand, her touch as soft as the morning mist. With tender care, Isolde offers to brush Snow White's raven hair. A serene moment of connection unfolds, promising solace and trust. The simple act becomes a profound gesture of friendship and hope. Inside the dwarf's cottage, Snow White sits, unaware of the impending danger. The comb glides smoothly through Snow White's dark hair, a deceptive gesture of care. Her eyes flutter closed as a death-like sleep descends, stealing her vitality. An eerie silence fills the cottage as Snow White succumbs, her fate hanging in the balance. Inside the cozy dwarf's cottage, a deceptive quiet hangs in the air, promising secrets and brewing revelations. Isolde's laughter pierces the silence, a sound laced with malice, betraying the darkness hidden beneath her guise. A flicker of her true self surfaces, the mask momentarily faltering, revealing the sinister intent lurking within Isolde. The cottage, once a haven, now feels like a stage for deception, As Isolde's cackle echoes with wicked anticipation, the air thickens with unspoken dread as the dwarf sanctuary becomes a theater for Isolde's unfolding scheme. As dusk descends, the dwarfs emerge, their forms stark against the dimming sky, each step heavy with unspoken dread. Miners emerge from the gem mines, their faces etched with worry, a stark contrast to the glittering promise of gems. Silhouettes against the fading light, each dwarf carries the weight of the day's unseen events, their faces a mask of concern. The fading light casts long shadows as they leave the mines, each line on their faces deepened by worry and tension. Their expressions tell a story of hardship and fear, each dwarf a canvas of worry painted by the unseen darkness within the mines. The gem mines stand silent as the dwarfs depart, their worried faces a testament to the secrets hidden deep within. Inside the dwarf's cottage, worry etches deep lines on their faces as they huddle around the small wooden bed. Snow White lies still, her pale skin a stark contrast against the crisp white sheets. The dwarf's hopeful expressions begin to fade, replaced by the grim realization of a death-like sleep. A palpable silence fills the room, heavy with grief and unspoken fears. Their hearts sink as they realize the gravity of Snow White's condition. In the dwarf's cottage, shadows dance as the 7 dwarfs gather, their faces etched with deep concern for Snow White. Doc, with trembling hands, gently examines Snow White, his brow furrowed in worry. He discovers a hidden danger, a comb, its presence, a silent threat lodged in her raven hair. Worried glances pass between the dwarfs, unspoken fears echoing in the dimly lit cottage. Inside the dwarf's cozy cottage, shadows dance as they gently work to remove the comb from her tangled hair. A subtle shift, the spell begins to unravel, its hold weakening like morning mist under the sun. Her eyelids flutter, a delicate dance between worlds as she teeters on the edge of consciousness. A soft gasp escapes her lips, the first breath of life returning to her still form. Slowly, painstakingly, she revives, her eyes opening to a world she had almost left behind. Inside the dwarf's cottage, shadows dance in the corners as Snow White stirs, a flicker of life returning to her eyes. Her eyelids flutter, a delicate awakening from a deep slumber. A soft gasp escapes her lips, a fragile breath in the quiet cottage. She opens her eyes, a dazed innocence in the dimly lit room. The dwarf's cottage glows with warmth, firelight dancing on the wooden beams. 8 pairs of worried eyes focus intently on Snow White, their concern palpable. Each small face is etched with worry as they gather around her bedside. The dwarfs' voices blend in unison, a chorus of anxious admonishment. "You must be more careful," they exclaim, their collective fear filling the cozy cottage. In her chamber, Isolde's silhouette flickers against the cold stone, her unease palpable. Isolde paces, her every step echoing her growing anxiety. Candlelight dances on the tapestries, mirroring Isolde's inner chaos with distorted shadows. Her brow furrows, a storm of thoughts brewing beneath. Hands clasped tight, she battles with unseen forces. Frustration etches itself onto Isolde's face, a visible mark of her internal conflict. A spectral reflection flickers faintly within the dimly lit mirror, barely capturing a ghostly image, ethereal and wavering. The reflection hints at hidden depths, a world just beyond perception. A voice echoes from the glass, chilling and resonant, as if the mirror itself speaks. "Your efforts are thwarted," the mirror whispers, its words laced with both warning and encouragement. "Your resolve must not waver." The reflection commands, a call to defiance echoing in the darkness. Flickering candlelight paints Isolde's chamber in shadows, the air thick with anticipation and arcane energy. Isolde stands poised at the heavy oak table, her brow furrowed in concentration, a storm brewing in her eyes. A pristine apple gleams ruby red under the dim light, an innocent facade concealing potent magic. A silver dagger shimmers with faint magical energy, ready to pierce the perfect skin. Her movements are precise, each gesture deliberate, as Isolde prepares to imbue the apple with dark magic. In her chamber, Isolde's brow furrows with intense focus, a single source of light illuminating her determined gaze. She holds an apple, turning it slowly, one side a tempting red, the other an ethereal white. The apple glistens under the dim light, a symbol of temptation and purity. Isolde studies the apple, its contrasting halves reflecting in her eyes. In her chamber, Isolde's face is lit by candlelight, her intense gaze fixed on 2 vials. One vial emanates a malevolent red glow, a stark contrast to the pure, innocent white of the other. The red side is poison, the white side harmless. The fate of Eldoria hangs in the balance, as Isolde contemplates her next move. Which vial will she choose? And what will be the cost of her decision? In Blackwood Forest, sunlight dapples the ground as Isolde, disguised, nears the dwarf's cottage. Her weathered face, etched with lines of resilience, tells tales of a life of relentless toil. Dressed as a farmer's wife, she carries the weight of her disguise with determined resolve. The forest's tapestry of greens and browns frames her approach, a silent witness. Each calloused hand narrates a story of survival, strength, and unwavering spirit. The cottage awaits, a beacon in the woods, promising secrets and unknown challenges ahead. Outside the dwarf's cottage, sunlight dapples the scene, highlighting the rustic charm of the dwelling. Isolde's hand extends, a deceptive offering held within a vibrant, tempting apple. The apple gleams, its polished surface reflecting the innocence of the day, masking its dark intent. Snow White's gaze is drawn to the fruit. A silent moment of fateful decision hangs in the air. Inside the farmhouse, Isolde, disguised as a farmer's wife, presents a vibrant red apple, its skin gleaming under the sunlight. Her smile is as bright as the apple she holds, a welcoming gesture in the rustic setting of the farmhouse. "A fine apple, my dear, fresh from my orchard," Isolde offers, her voice sweet and inviting. The apple seems to glow in her hand, a symbol of warmth and hospitality amidst the simple surroundings. Isolde's eyes sparkle with a hint of mischief, hidden beneath the facade of a humble farmer's wife. The farmhouse feels both inviting and subtly deceptive, the apple a tempting lure in Isolde's carefully crafted scene. Sunlight bathes the dwarf's quaint cottage, casting long shadows that dance playfully around the edges of the cozy dwelling. Isolde examines the apple, its red side gleaming seductively, a silent invitation to a deadly deception. With a delicate touch, she turns the fruit, revealing the pure, innocent white side, a stark contrast to the poisoned facade. Her eyes narrow slightly, a flicker of calculation crossing her face as she prepares to feign trust and innocence. With deliberate slowness, Isolde bites into the white side of the apple, a performance designed to allay suspicion and disarm her audience. The act complete, Isolde's expression is a mask of serene satisfaction, concealing the dark plot she has set in motion. Inside the dwarf's cozy cottage, sunlight streams, highlighting the innocence in Snow White's trusting eyes. A vibrant, tempting apple gleams in her hand, its red side beckoning with an irresistible allure. She bites into the fruit, unaware of the danger lurking beneath its flawless skin. The dwarf's cottage fades into a deceptive haven, a stark contrast to the impending doom. Her fate hangs in the balance with each bite, an image of innocence about to shatter. Inside the dwarf's cottage, shadows dance on the walls as Snow White collapses. She crumples to the floor, a heap of pale beauty against the rustic wood. Her eyes are closed, her face serene, yet devoid of life. Silence descends, broken only by the soft rustle of her dress. The cottage holds its breath, a tableau of tragic stillness. Against the fading dusk, the dwarfs emerge, their forms mere silhouettes against the gaping maw of the gem mines. Weariness hangs heavy on their shoulders, each step a burden as they trudge away from the darkness. Dread etches deep lines into their faces, a silent story of the horrors witnessed in the mines. The air is thick with unspoken fear, a testament to the unseen terrors lurking within. Each dwarf carries the weight of the mine's secrets, their faces masks of haunting memories. Warm light flickers across the dwarf's cottage, casting dancing shadows on the walls. 7 dwarfs huddle around a small wooden bed, their faces etched with worry in the firelight. Snow White lies still, her pallor stark against the rough-spun sheets. Her peaceful expression offers a fragile contrast to the heavy atmosphere. Beside her hand, a single, crimson apple rests, its beauty hinting at hidden danger. The scene is a tableau of sorrow, hope, and the delicate balance between life and death. Inside the dwarf's cottage, despair hangs heavy as they gather around her, their faces reflecting grief. Frantically, they try every remedy, their small hands moving with desperate purpose, but she remains still. Defeated, the dwarf's shoulders slump, their hope extinguished in the dimly lit room. The cottage is filled with a palpable sense of loss, the silence broken only by the dwarf's quiet sorrow. On a stark mountainside, the dwarfs gather, their faces reflecting profound grief. With aching hearts, they carefully lay Snow White to rest within a crystal coffin. The clear glass reflects the indifferent sky, a mirror to their desolation. The sharp mountain peaks stand as silent witnesses to their sorrowful farewell. On a stark mountainside, the dwarfs gather, a solemn procession against the vast, indifferent sky. Their heavy footsteps echo softly as they carry a dark, ornate coffin. The coffin is carefully placed upon a bed of stone, a stark monument against the landscape. Each dwarf stands with bowed head, their faces etched with profound grief and loss. The wind whispers a mournful dirge, carrying their sorrow across the peaks. Shadows lengthen, mirroring the weight of their sorrow as they bid farewell. On the stark mountainside, the dwarfs stand as silent sentinels around the coffin, their faces etched with profound grief. The wind, a mournful whisper, snakes through the towering peaks, carrying the heavy weight of their unspoken sorrow. Each dwarf is lost in their private lament, their sorrow a tangible presence in the vast, desolate landscape. A solemn vigil unfolds against the backdrop of rugged peaks, the dwarfs united in their shared mourning. Prince Caius, in hunting leathers, surveys the mountainside, his falcon a dark silhouette against the piercing blue sky. The falcon circles gracefully, a silent hunter soaring above the rugged peaks. A glint of reflected sunlight pierces through the landscape, catching Caius's sharp eye. Nestled among the rocks, an ornate coffin shimmers, an unexpected treasure in the wilderness. The coffin's intricate carvings hint at untold stories, a silent sentinel in the vast expanse. High on the mountainside, Caius looks down upon Snow White, her form still against the snow. The stark white of the snow accentuates the stillness of her body. Even in what appears to be death, her beauty remains a haunting contrast to the harsh landscape. Caius is still observing her from above as the cold wind whispers through the mountain. Against towering peaks, Caius stands, his figure a stark silhouette against the vast, unforgiving sky. His emphatic gestures cut through the wind, each word a plea carried on the mountain's breath. Before him, the dwarfs stand frozen, their faces etched with grief, their resolve faltering. Reluctance etched deep, they slowly begin to yield, their grip on the coffin loosening with each passing moment. The coffin is released, a final act of sorrow against the majestic, indifferent backdrop of the mountainside. High in the mountains, the path snakes precariously, the air is thin, and the view is dizzying. Caius's servants, faces grim, struggle under the weight of the dark, heavy coffin. Each step is a test of endurance, their breath misting in the cold air. The coffin, a somber burden, is carried with solemn respect and great difficulty. The mountain path seems endless, a testament to the journey's sorrowful purpose. A lone servant struggles on a steep, rugged mountain path, each step a battle against the unforgiving terrain. A sudden, jarring stumble sends a shockwave through the servant's body, disrupting the grim task. The unexpected jolt dislodges a deadly fragment, the poisoned apple, from Snow White's throat. The fragment tumbles onto the dusty path, a silent testament to the dark magic at play. Snow White's eyes flutter open, a gasp escaping her lips. She awakens on a cold mountain path, her breath mists in the frigid air. A faint sun casts long shadows across the snowy ground. Disoriented, she pushes herself up. The biting wind whips around her. On a serene mountain path, Caius kneels. His face is radiant with unfiltered joy. The sunlight warms his skin. His eyes are sparkling with love. "I love you," Caius confesses, his voice filled with adoration. A tense silence fills the unknown space, heavy with unspoken emotions. Caius's eyes, filled with hope, reflect a mixture of relief and deep affection. He awaits an answer, the air thick with anticipation. "You are alive! I thought I had lost you forever," Caius cries, his voice trembling with emotion. A beat of silence as Caius gazes, love shining. "Will you marry me?" The question hangs in the air, awaiting an answer that will change everything. Sunlight warms Snow White's face on the mountain path, a gentle breeze whispering through the trees around her. She nods, her smile radiant, a picture of pure joy and thankfulness in the heart of nature. Her heart brims with affection, the forest air filled with the unspoken promise of new beginnings. Golden light filters through the branches, illuminating her face with a tender, ethereal glow. Eldoria buzzes with anticipation under a bright sun. As wedding preparations begin, banners flutter, proclaiming the union of Snow White and Prince Caius. Craftsmen adorn the castle with garlands, their faces reflecting joy. The air is filled with music, promising a day of celebration and love. Servants rush about, ensuring every detail is perfect for the royal event. A palpable sense of hope and unity sweeps across Eldoria. In her private chamber, Isolde pauses, her figure reflected in the ornate mirror, the flickering candlelight dancing around her. The silence of Eldoria Castle presses in around her, amplifying the sudden dread that grips her heart. Her breath hitches, eyes wide with disbelief, as she sees a ghostly reflection beside her. A chill runs down her spine as she realizes the spectral figure mimics her every move. A silent, haunting echo. Isolde's face pales further, her shock deepening as the ghostly figure reaches out, its touch a promise of darkness. Trapped in the mirror's gaze, she confronts the terrifying truth, her fate inextricably bound to the spectral presence. Inside the castle, the magic mirror shimmers, its surface alive like disturbed water, reflecting untold tales. An ethereal glow emanates from within the mirror, casting an otherworldly light on the stone walls. The mirror ripples, as if something is about to break through from another realm. A voice echoes from the depths of the mirror. "A new queen is fairer than thee, Snow White, bride of Prince Caius." The pronouncement hangs in the air, chilling the castle with its ominous prophecy. The great hall of Eldoria Castle pulses with excitement. Banners from 100 kingdoms flutter high on the ancient walls. A river of nobles flows through the hall's majestic arched entrances, a symphony of silks and whispered expectations filling the air. Sigils of long-lost houses adorn every surface, their stories echoing in the hall's grand architecture. Every corner of the hall is filled with the promise of celebration, the air thick with anticipation. Light streams through stained glass windows, casting kaleidoscopic patterns on the assembled guests. The castle waits with bated breath for the ceremony to begin, the wedding about to change the course of Eldoria. Sunlight floods the great hall, illuminating ancient tapestries as anticipation hangs heavy in the air. Isolde enters, a figure shrouded in mystery, her face veiled, her presence commanding the attention of all. A ripple of whispers follows in her wake, a symphony of speculation and hushed reverence. Her veiled gaze sweeps across the hall, a silent promise of change in the heart of Eldoria. In Eldoria's great hall, Isolde's intense gaze pierces the distance, landing squarely on Snow White. A flicker of recognition sparks in Isolde's eyes, a ghost of a memory surfacing in the grandeur of the hall. The fleeting recognition warps into a mask of fury, contorting Isolde's features with raw, untamed emotion. Shame washes over Isolde, battling with her rage as the air itself seems to crackle with unspoken tension. The vast hall holds its breath, the drama unfolding between Isolde and Snow White, a storm brewing in their silence. Inside Eldoria Castle's great hall, shadows lengthen as Isolde's figure wavers, a storm gathering within her eyes. A desperate, fleeting glance around the hall, a silent goodbye etched on her face as she prepares to disappear. With a sudden burst of movement, she vanishes, a whisper of her presence lingering in the echoing hall. The dark forest beckons, swallowing her whole as she flees, leaving behind only the haunting memory of her departure. Sunlight dapples through the dense canopy as Isolde steps into Blackwood Forest, its shadow swallowing her form. Each step deeper into the woods obscures her further, the trees like silent sentinels guarding ancient secrets. The forest floor, a tapestry of fallen leaves and twisted roots, muffles her passage into the unknown. A final glimpse of her cloak vanishes behind a thicket of thorns, leaving only the whisper of wind in the trees. The forest holds its breath, the air thick with unspoken promises and impending mystery. Blackwood Forest claims Isolde, its depths concealing her fate from the world beyond its borders. Sunlight floods the great hall through stained glass, painting the scene in vibrant hues as Snow White and Caius stand together. Their faces glow with happiness, mirroring the warmth that radiates from the celebrating crowd before them. Joyful cheers echo through the hall, celebrating the reign of kindness and justice, led by Snow White and Caius. The atmosphere is thick with celebration, a testament to the profound impact of their benevolent rule. In the heart of Eldoria Castle, a kingdom rejoices under the radiant smiles of its beloved rulers. Snow White and Caius stand together, a united front against the breathtaking backdrop of Eldoria, their figures silhouetted. A gentle breeze stirs the trees, carrying the crisp scent of pine and the subtle promise of spring's imminent arrival. Side by side, they stand as symbols of hope, their love a radiant beacon piercing through shadows. Their reign begins, a testament to their bond, promising prosperity and unity to the kingdom. Eldoria watches, holding its breath, as Snow White and Caius embark on their shared destiny, their future intertwined. Eldoria is draped in a serene blanket of snow, a silent testament to the kingdom's enduring peace. Soft snowflakes descend, each one a delicate promise of renewal and hope for the kingdom. The gentle snowfall is a symbol of Snow White's benevolent reign, a soft and comforting presence. Winter's touch transforms the kingdom into a pristine wonderland, untouched and ethereal. Eldoria stands as a beacon of tranquility, its snow-covered landscape radiating a quiet strength. The kingdom thrives under Snow White, its spirit as resilient and pure as the winter snow.